I just drove 7 hours to get to Tina's kitchen. That's where I am right now. It's huge, and it's really quiet. It's early in the morning, but later on today, all hell's gonna break loose. This is gonna be a very special edition of Kitchenbob Cooking for Guys, cause I'm gonna be cooking with guys. You see, Tina's cousins are visiting her from Spain. She's also got relatives in Italy, Croatia. I don't know, Tina's like a DNA milkshake, but it works for her. Ooh, I forgot, I gotta be quiet. It's early morning here in Western Connecticut, and the Spaniards are about to awaken. And when they do, they're gonna make something you might be familiar with. It's called a tortilla, but this is a Spanish tortilla. Now I know I called Bolognese the miracle food. I'm gonna dub this the most incredible food. You can put it between two pieces of bread like a sandwich. You can eat it cold, you can eat it hot. This thing could feed you for a week.
So let's get cooking. The ingredients could be easy. You want about 1,000 eggs, 500 onions, and more potatoes than you've ever seen in your life. And don't forget, you gotta peel these things. And of course, your salt and your pepper. And you better buy a case of good olive oil, because you're gonna be pouring that in a pan like you pour a soft drink down your throat. And of course, you're gonna need a variety of cutting boards and knives just to impress people, but you're really only gonna use just one. And I know Tina is particularly proud of this one, because it weighs about 400 pounds, and it has that knot hole in the middle. Don't see that very often. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't take much, does it? So let's get cutting. First and foremost, what's going to take most of your time is peeling these potatoes and then cutting them up in little slices. Then you're going to slice up the onions into nice little bite-sized pieces. Then you're going to crack about 7 or 8 eggs. Apparently there was some discussion about this, but I really don't think 7 or 8 matters. Make it 8. And put them in this bowl because you're going to dump all this other stuff in there later. Now you're going to heat up this pan and put about a half a gallon of olive oil in here. It seems like a half a gallon. It's really only about a quarter inch. But still, it will strike you as an awful lot of olive oil to put in a pan. Now when it starts to warm up a little bit, you're going to put a little piece of potato in there, and that's going to be your thermometer. When that little thing starts to swim around, and I was as shocked as anyone to see this, it actually swims. That's your indicator that the olive oil is ready to go. So that's when you pour in your potatoes and your onions. Now this is where you sit back and you drink your beer or your wine for about 20 minutes. They say 20 minutes, it usually turns out to be 10 or 15. But you gotta keep poking those potatoes and see if they bend. You don't want them to break, you don't want them to be tough, you just want them to bend like a rubber hose. When they're ready, that's when you scoop them out, you strain them, and you pour them into the bowl with the eggs. Now this straining process takes about 5 minutes. Then you're gonna pour your olive oil into some other container, and what you do with that is up to you. And you're gonna pour this potato-onion mixture into the pan. It looks like a huge omelet, but it's actually a Spanish tortilla in the making. So you move this around in the plate until you feel like it, and then it comes time to separate the men from the boys. Now the boys are going to take this wide pan and they're going to put it over the pan. They're just going to flip it over and make it all nice. And then they're going to slip it into the pan like this. But real men are going to do something called dar una vuelta. It means, I don't know, to flip. Something like that. You're going to flip this thing like an omelet. Except when you lift the pan, you're going to realize it weighs about 25 pounds more than any omelet you've ever seen. And here we go. Nice flip, Jose. Nice flip. So you let that cook for a few minutes more, you play it by ear. I have no idea when it's done, but when you think it's done, you pop it out of there, you put it on a plate, and voila, if I can mix my languages, there you have it, an authentic dar una vuelta Spanish tortilla. Don't try and make a quesadilla out of this thing. This thing is as thick as a mattress. Now after this rather sedate example, the boys went into high gear. Tina was throwing a party and they needed food. Here they are cooking 2 at a time, chopping and cooking and chopping and cooking. It was an awesome thing to see. Now after watching them do this 2 at a time, it became quite apparent that I was in the presence of pros. And just to underscore that fact, Tina's cousin Lily filled me in on a little thing they do in Spain.
In the north of Spain, we've got these like cooking clubs called sociedades gastronómicas, where you can invite friends and cook and entertain without messing your kitchen up.
Yeah, we kind of do the same thing here in the States, except we call it a restaurant. So they make 4 or 5 of these things for Tina's friends, for Tina, for the party she's throwing. She's always throwing parties. And then they said it was my turn to make one.
Now Jose here, he's gonna supervise me.
So here we go. Right off the bat, Tina doesn't like the way I'm slicing an onion.
You gotta peel it.
Details, details. So we got Jose in on it to show me the right way. A little Tom Sawyer thing, never hurts. So now that Tina's running the camera, I was free to cook. So I stirred. Well, she does have her priorities, doesn't she? So I stirred, I sifted, I poured, and then it came time for the big flip. That's when I discovered how heavy this thing really was. This thing weighs a ton. Needless to say, I couldn't do it, but I'm Irish, I'm not Spanish. So I let the pros take over and we sat down to a wonderful meal.
This is better than any peanut butter and jelly you're ever gonna eat.
Impolite with your mouth full.
Oh, look, another life lesson. Now, the very next day, after they made like 7 of these tortillas, they have a paella party here. It took all day. They were cooking all day long. This is the only energy I could muster was to like snap a few pics. Now, I gotta thank these guys. They were brilliant, and they were in good humor, and I didn't understand a word they said, but I think we got along okay. So next time I'm going over to Spain into their kitchen, and we're gonna do something there.
That's never gonna happen.
And you watch it. And you keep watching.
He's gonna need the...
This is not gonna work.
Yes, it is. You're scared. Come on.
Oh, I'm scared because it's your oven.
You'll clean it.
I think we're done.
No, come on, flip it. If you're gonna do it now, you gotta do it now. Come on.
It's not coming off the pan.
Dice que está pegado.